Senators are back at the negotiating table today to hash out the details of a near $2 trillion coronavirus economic relief bill. Top congressional and Trump administration officials say a deal is within reach and that they're expecting to come to an agreement today. For more on this, let's bring in CBS News chief congressional correspondent Nancy Cordes. Nancy, Senate Democrats blocked the stimulus package from moving forward in a procedural vote yesterday. What concerns did they raise?
They had a couple of big concerns. The biggest one, I would say, was the sort of amorphous nature of this $500 billion fund that's being created to disperse loans to major industries. We're talking about airlines, hotels, you name it. Almost every industry has been hit hard by this crisis. Democrats don't have a problem with the dollar figure. They say that money does need to go out the door, but they argued there was no transparency attached to this fund. So the American people wouldn't know who was getting the money, they wouldn't know how much money they were getting, or what kinds of strings were attached, if any. And so they say they have made significant progress in negotiations with the Treasury Secretary, Steven Mnuchin. Senator Schumer, the Democratic leader, we know, met with him 6 times over the course of the day yesterday. They say there are now some guardrails. For instance, the Treasury Secretary would have to release the names of the companies getting this money within 72 hours so the public would know who got the money and how much. They say that's important because 10 years ago, when they passed a similarly huge bill, TARP, during the last economic meltdown, they say that there weren't enough guardrails, and a lot of them really came to regret it because companies used the money in ways that they shouldn't have. So they say that putting those guardrails in place is worth waiting another day.
Nancy, Republicans were very angry that the talks were dragging on. Why was it so important to them to vote and get this done?
Because they feel that everyone in this country, from the markets to big businesses to small businesses to American workers, are watching and wondering when they are going to get relief. And they made a point that is 100% true, which is that businesses are laying off workers every single day. Just yesterday, GE announced that it was going to be laying off 1/10 of its aviation workforce, about 2,500 people. Boeing announced that it was going to be shuttering some factories. And they believe that they send a powerful message to these companies to retain their workers if those companies know that loans and grants are on the way out the door. So Republicans argued that time is of the essence here. Democrats agree, but they say that they feel that this 24-hour trade-off was worth it in order to get some key elements fixed in this bill. But temperatures were really rising yesterday. I can tell you, I haven't seen the type of tension on the Senate floor that I saw yesterday, where you had Republicans saying there's no time to waste, you are messing around while Rome burns, and Democrats arguing that when you're talking about $2 trillion, if you don't get it right, you're going to regret it down the road. They both had very valid points, and they both felt very strongly about it.